you were alone. And if you are in the forest by yourself alone, you will try to survive. And that's something will push you keep going. And if you are staying at a house very comfortable every day, you really have nothing to worry. You will feel like, why should I lose all this kind of comfort?
Today's guest is founder of Ziji International Trading, Sherry Chen. Last year, she launched her first fashion brand as Ziji Style, a fashion line focused on dance-inspired attire. I've personally witnessed her hit the ground sprinting on her entrepreneur journey. She is the definition of a hardworking hustler with her passion and her heart guiding her as her compass. To see her literally start from scratch to building her own e-commerce business is nothing but amazing, and it excites me to have her on today's show. Sherry, welcome to the Quarantine Marketing Podcast. How are you?
Hi, Matthew. Thank you so much for having me.
Hi. So, can you tell us a little bit more about your brand, your company, why you started it? What is Ziji Style, and how do you actually get up to making the Ziji International Trading? Can you give us a little bit more detail on how that started?
Yeah, sure. So I moved to US 4 years ago with my husband, and I had some hard time to find a job. I was very frustrated. My life turned from a very busy career woman became a housewife, and I was really frustrated. I wanted to go back to work, and I wasn't happy with my life. Then I went to try to learn dancing, and I met a lot of uh, friends from dancing, and I realized these people from dancing, they are so passionate, and there are a lot of diversity groups of people, and they really inspire me a lot. And mostly as Asian, when I see all the diversity type of ladies, they can be different body shape, different skin color, different height, different age, and they all look so confident. And that's something I feel like that's a real beauty, and that's something I want to show the world. That's we when we were in Asian, like we have a standard of look what you should be, and then everybody trying to be the same thing. And when you don't have born like that way, you want to do, you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to go cosmetic surgery, and these things sometimes can hurt you. So, and then we forgot how important inside of you and how beautiful you are when you are feeling confident just being yourself. And that's how motivate me to do my own fashion line. And then of course I had a lot of hesitation. I was doubting myself if I can really do it, if I'm experienced enough, and I'm still new in the US. I didn't know so much about the policy here, maybe the culture. I don't know so many people. I will have absolutely nobody. I know nothing. So I was really scared to start. It took me probably a year to really start, but
Wow.
I started to, yeah, just to ask people around, and mostly I think is the dancers I met. They really give me a lot more confidence. How much they really encourage me a lot, and they give me really useful practical ideas to push me start. And I think sometimes it's just the doubt you have inside of you keeps you just stop.
Keeps you down. Yeah,
Yeah,
I hear what you're
exactly.
saying, because I know for me, um, when I feel like there's something not really much at stake, or something that I'm not really putting too much of my huge time in, then I won't really do it. It's like saying, will I make a breakfast for making eggs? I can most definitely do that. I know how to do it, and it doesn't take me too much time. Versus oh, I'm gonna be paying money for a college course or something, which you know how much time that takes.
Yeah.
And you're just thinking, well, will it be worth it? Am I really spending
Yeah.
my money where it should be? Because like if I spend money on
Yeah.
college right now, the
Mm,
difference between if I do it now for like a master's program or something
mm,
versus back then is that I don't have my mom helping me with payment.
mm,
Um, I also don't have. I'm not in the military anymore. I don't know if you know, but I used to be in the military. But that paid for my tuition, and so there's a lot of different things. But me thinking of now going back to school is would be rough because I know my mind is all wrapped around doing like 100 different things, but getting to that one important thing that you want to do and doing it within that year and you find out that's really important. I
mm,
think it's one of the huge things that separates a lot of successful people from non-successful people.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I can totally feel you, and I have this kind of doubts every day. Every day, I'm asking myself if I'm doing right thing, if I should continue, and before and the thing is, once I started to do this business, the business drives me learning. There is a lot, you will always have something you need to learn. There is
Mhm.
always things you don't know, no matter how much experience you have.
Right.
That's the fact. And then the thing is, if you don't even start anything, you don't even know where you want to start,
Hmm.
right? And which area you want to focus, which area you want to go deeper. So that's the thing I would say. This business really, if I say what I learned from the business is not like um, how much money you want to make. Is the business really motivate you? You have a goal in your life every day. When I wake up in the morning, I know what I need to do, and I know there is a things every day I want to plan things. I don't want to waste. Before, when I was searching for job, every day I was so frustrated. I didn't know what to do. Every morning I'm like, oh, what I'm gonna do today, and I was a lot of rejections letters and and
Oh,
it
this
was,
was before you started Ziji Style, right?
yeah,
And
before I
so
got,
you're saying how basically you this was also when you're in the US when you first moved, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
you're having a hard time like struggling where to
yeah.
find work because you just wanted to find work to find work.
Yes, exactly.
Hmm.
And even sometimes I push myself to go out meeting people, but I didn't want to go because I feel bad every time when people ask me, "Oh, what do you do?" Because that's the first question you will ask. "Oh,
Mm.
what do you do?" And I'll be like, "Oh, actually, I'm looking for jobs," and I hated that. Before I moved to US, I was working as a marketing manager for the hotel, and I was very busy. It was like in the middle of my career. I had a lot of opportunities, but once I moved to US, I realized all the advantage I had back uh, wasn't really applying for this market. And I I didn't know there was some time when you don't have a. I think the job itself is giving you the goal every day. When you don't have the job you like, and especially when you don't have the job, you just feel like your life has been wasted. And I was still young. I'm not ready to just sitting at home yet, and I already have so many years of experience. So I already had 10 years experience back. So I was also not ready to change everything, start over, doing something new, just because I need to find a job. Um, I was like, if I don't do this business, what would I be? And if I do it, what am I gonna lose? And I just started to think about I can lose nothing. I have nothing to lose
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah,
I'm already in the bottom.
yeah.
So you can't get matters. So worse is I might waste some time. Yeah, I might spend some money. Um,
But at least
but
you did it. right?
Yeah, but I have to try, right? Yeah, if you don't try it, you will be regretted in the future when you're old. You're like, ah, I wasted another year, right?
Oh yeah.
So I have to start. And then, of course, there is a lot of things you have to learn and a lot of things I don't know. And I think that's what many people who are afraid before doing your own business start being an entrepreneur, and you will be afraid you don't have the experience. I was actually talking to many pre-entrepreneurs. A lot of times they ask me how they should start, and I realize we all have the common fear about what if I fail. And I notice when you have a lot of choice, sometimes it's something can you might not able to focus, but in some point you just feel like nothing more important anymore and there's no other options. And that's something can really kick you out of your comfort zone. You will really have to get out to do things you hate, get out to do the things even you don't know, you had no idea. And that's the thing about business. Every business there is some part you might like, but there's also a lot of things you don't like and you don't know. And then you just need to push yourself trying to find a solution, trying to learn, trying to move forward. That's how I started, and it's been a year. There is so much I can also share too.
Right. That's amazing. So, what I find like what you say is what a lot of people that want to start their own business think of is just like, I don't know what to do, but they find themselves at that one single stuck point. And what you said is pretty amazing. And it's something that I think everyone should think is, what do I have to lose? Right. I think a lot of people just create these voices inside their head, give them this story and say, oh, I can't do this because I just can't. Right. And something tells you, just, it's just hard. And the only thing that you define yourself as, it's just hard. But it's only hard because you don't know what to do.
Yeah,
And
I
you just
hear
have
this
to fall
all
into
the
it.
time. Yeah, exactly. I hear this all the time. And I often hear people say, oh, this is not my personality. I don't like to talk to people,
Hmm.
and I don't like to do sales. I don't like to do this and that. You sometimes you will give yourself excuse to not trying. And then I told them, it's just the job, the business itself put you in a position in the middle of a point that you were there, nobody can help you, and you were alone. And if you are in the forest by yourself alone, you will try to survive, and that's something will push you keep going. And if you are staying at a house very comfortable every day, you have nothing to, you really have nothing to worry. There's you will feel like, why should I lose all this kind of comfortable life, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so you have to just get out,
That's
try.
true. Like building your aspiration.
So since we're talking about dance, that's really how I got inspired a lot. I thought about different jobs I wanted to do. I wasn't sure what to do, but dance was just something um, about the people. And now I kind of understand when you start dancing, you really can feel so much more open. And the social dance environment in Boston are so much more friendly and respectful. It's not like when you go to clubbing, you go uh, people just chasing around and you don't talk to anyone.
Mm.
And yeah, it's just like flirting, right? But when you go social Latin dance, the environment is very friendly, and the people here. I don't know if it's the same thing other cities, but in Boston, I've been learning with Leah, Tina, Tina Coviccio. sorry, 5 minutes. But everybody knows in Boston, and I've been also dancing a lot at the Havana and the moves and the vibes with Ina and Jenna Louise, and I met a lot of friends like Courtney and many others from dance community. They are just so positive, so friendly, and everybody really help each other. And also like from different religion, different really different background. And you can see in the dance parties, you can see the age from 21, of course, minimum 21 most of the time, 21 to probably 70. You can see like a huge
Yeah, there's huge range of diversity.
of age difference, and you can dance as a lady can dance as a lead, and the guys can dance as follow. There is also no gender limit, and I love that because that's something I didn't see when I was in Asian. There was so much rules, so much judgmental, and when I'm here in Boston, I just feel like this is how the world should be. I just feel I hope the whole world can see how it looks. You could be how you can respect each other, and how you can be less judgmental and more open-minded. And that's why I wanted to do this kind of brand. I make it the Ziji Style as dance inspired fashion line, because I that's how you want to show yourself. You want to show it's not the outfit make you beautiful, it's yourself. But the outfit is to embrace yourself, make you just being yourself and look how you are, how you should be. And I watch a lot of like dancers dancing. It just in traditional, you always have a really good looking dancers in the media. It's our media always tells us that is the real beauty, and the rest are not. Make you feel you only want to appreciate that the type on the media, the really fit, skinny looking, but in but you don't have to be. You could be curvy, you could be small, you could be tall, you could be any skin color you like, as long as you are being healthy. And that's what I really give me so much motivation to work on this business. Each time when I feel like helpless, when I feel I can't do it, when I doubt, I would talk to the people around, like the dance friends. I talk to them all the time. Actually, I talk to Tina a lot. I talk to Courtney, and I talk to many, like Leah, many like these ladies who are very good as dancer, but also I really admire them as a human being, and I just want to. I know how hard it is from business aspect, because if you want to show diversity practically, that means every different type of a product takes time to make to be successful. It's the same thing as a clothes, with the more diversity style will fit different person, and then that's something I need to learn. I realize the more I've been doing this business, the more I drives me want to learn. Okay, I'm the skinny type, maybe, but I want to learn how can I make the curvy type look good,
Hmm.
because I'm not familiar with it. It's harder for me, but that's if I can't make it. It doesn't even show my brand, doesn't show the meaning, the initial idea, the concept I wanted, the image I want to bring. And then that's a failure at the end, doesn't even mean anything for me anymore. So that's the thing keeps driving me, like drive me want to learn. And also you're talking about going to school, right? And I that's exactly how I felt too. uh, Go back to school, it's tuition fees expensive, and so much time you have to commit it. And at the end, if you take some class, learn something, what if it doesn't even, it's not even useful for you? And if you want to, does it really bring you value for your life? Not necessary, right? I just, I already had my degree, I already had my master, and the end up, you know what? My job I had in the past years, nothing really related, or not my degree or my master degree I learned from the school, not really useful for my job. I learned everything from my job. So
Hmm.
that's why I don't want to go to school just for getting the degree. It doesn't make sense for me anymore. And I think for everybody should think the same way. When you go to school, it's not for a degree, it's for really learning something practical. That's why you need to know what you want. And if you don't try, you don't even know what you want. So then I started to feel there was a lot of things I want to learn more skills instead of like MBA or PhD when you, and
Yeah,
I
more than just the title. I feel like
yeah,
now, especially when I was in college, the more I look back on it, even I fell into that trap too, was everyone was so obsessed with titles.
yeah,
Where, oh, well, I have a MS, and so my degree is in marketing actually, and um, there's like people are just looking for titles like,
it's fun,
oh,
right? Marketing is
yeah, like
fun. Everyone
I have
wants
a
to do
master's
marketing.
in this, and m- especially what I learned ever since out of not high school, but I guess it's true out of high school, but especially out of college, that a lot of titles do not really mean anything to me anymore. I've
Yeah,
definitely had experiences of trying to have uh, just college students work for us on making code because it said on their resume they were good at that skill, and you would put them and test them out in the field, and it turns out that they're not that good. So it's a trade-off on, you have someone that needs to build their skill set versus someone that just cares about what type of title they get, and that's it, because they care more about that than what they're actually learning or building,
yeah.
which I think there needs to be a switch.
Yes, exactly. So that's why I decide to go back to school. I'm taking class, fashion design class as at Mass Art. It's not a degree, it's just certificate, and I don't care it, and I don't care the degree I will get, but I really feel I've been learning so much from the class. It's not only a, and I realized the attitude is different when I was without doing any job. You know, when I was doing my master degree, I didn't have any experience. I just wanted to get a degree, so I just wanted to finish my class and get the graduated. And then once I'm doing my own business and I go back to school, I try to learn as much as possible. I spend a lot of extra time just to figure out how to use the machine. I was embarrassed. Like last year when I was doing my business, I everybody said, "Oh, Sherry, designer Sherry." I was embarrassed because I didn't know how to do tailor. I never learned
Mm,
before,
yeah.
and I started to do business without having these skills because you could have an outsourcing with a manufacturer. They do the technical work for you. I thought I was just need to manage how to manage it and the market. And I realized if you don't have the skills, first you you don't know how to explain to the manufacturer when there is something wrong, and the second, you don't foresee the problems. You can't communicate very well with the suppliers, and the third, when there is something I need to something wrong, I if I have the skills, sometimes I can fix locally. And I did a lot of costumes. I realized costume customized items are extremely hard based on the time you have to spend, the skills you need. So then I started to learn how can I understand what kind of material to study different kind of um, how to do the measurement, how to do cutting, how to do tailor, and then there's a lot of time I just trying to pick up the skills. And now I have to say, this quarantine gave me some time to learn the skills I had to. I
Hmm.
didn't have time before. It takes so much time when you do the technical skills. And I just kind of like giving myself an excuse to only focus on my computer work. I just do computer design, and then I didn't really do technical tailor things. And this quarantine made me push me to do more all this handcraft things. And I had also some workshops, uh, got some inspirations how this quarantine really made me realize how much the industry, especially like fashion industry or any other industry, how much waste we cause. And I realized after 1 year business, I also have a lot of items I cannot sell with different reason, and that the new fabric and the fabrics are good. So I want to reuse them. I don't want to just trash them all. I can still use them to be something useful. So recently, I'm also trying to do some mask just to practice tailoring, how to do sewing things, and I just feel like all this, I would say, I will give the credit to doing the business and giving me the opportunity to learn everything. And also at the school, you are not only learning from your teachers, your professors, you also learning from your classmates. They, like my classmate I met from the school, they have so much more experience than I do. I'm the first year, and some of them already learned 2 or 3 years. They are so much better than me, and I feel embarrassed, like I've been already out for business for so many years, and they were so young and so talented. I seen like so many talents from the school, and that I ask them a lot of questions, ask them how to teach me how to use the sewing machine, how to do every different things. And I feel like I've been learning so much. Everyone can be my teacher from my
Mm,
school.
yeah.
I feel really grateful about all this experience. If I don't do this business, I would never think about how important it is to have your own skills, and how important you should also try to learn from everyone, being humble.
Right. So from it sounds like the journey that you had. I know that your business is not it's not that old for what you have for ZG Style because
Only one
it
year.
was made last year, right? And it
Yeah,
sounds like that a lot of stuff is already piled up and you so many responsibilities to do. Um,
yeah.
so
So yeah,
yeah,
so
so I was just thinking that as a person that would be interested to just kind of learn what that business is because online there's a lot of these ads and stuff saying, oh, you should learn e-commerce. Oh, it's like make sure you learn how to build a blog or something, and all this noise that is out there, and you just hear it inside the ad. But what can you say about making things more structured and kind of learning from the mistakes that you've made? Like what can you say as a shortcut that you would say to yourself as, oh, make sure you don't do this ever again because that was so much of a waste of my time.
yeah, there is so much I can share. Yeah, it's true. For this year, I registered my company in the beginning January of last year, so it's actually 1.5 year. And the last year, you probably noticed I had a lot of fashion show events, like really
Yeah, you went
fun.
hardcore into it.
Right? Yes, like the parties, one by one, a lot of mothering pictures. It
Hmm.
was really fun, but at the same time, what you didn't know about behind the business is all this comes with a cost. So you cost a lot of money, and you spend a lot of time. And at the end, does it really make sense? not everything you or not every event you made making some value. It's just sometimes when you do, especially I think artists, we always have the same, um, we may face the same problem. We are too passionate on the things we're doing, and we forgot, just we keep on doing it, and we forgot it's a business.
Mm-hmm.
And we keep on investing time and money on the things we interested, but ignore the part as a business. For me, a successful business has to be balanced. Your passion and your business, both are important. Money is not, it shouldn't be your goal, but it's something, it's a number to evaluate your achievement, to let you able to continue your dream. If you don't have any funding, you won't able to continue. And I also see a lot of the artist friends, they have a really good skills, they're talented, but they are not able to make the business continue. I mean, of course, you enjoy what you're doing, but if you want to if you want to continue your business, you need funding. So that's a fact. And then another thing is you need to have your passion. If you don't like what you're doing, your life is boring. You're like, then you won't able to develop your brand, your business with a soul. It's just empty. That's the also one of the reason I wouldn't choose to do. I know, like before doing this job, I mean doing this business. Also, some friends ask me if I want to do property agency, if I want to do some other things, may make a lot of money, but I know myself. If I
Right.
don't like it, if I'm not interested in it, I know I wouldn't put effort. I wouldn't happy. I wouldn't enjoy what I'm doing every day. I wouldn't have the motivation. So that's what I think. First thing is your business and your passion need to be balanced. You do your own passion, but at the same time, you need to take time to manage the numbers, which I'm still learning. I'm really bad with numbers. um, that's how what I've been doing also during the quarantine. I try to have more time to do my accounting, trying to learn and get used to it at least. I mean, once you get used to it, then it's not so complicated. And that's one thing. And you're talking about shortcut. There is no shortcut, but I have a lot of a failure experience too. I can share like, so as entrepreneur, you may able to start with less risk. Um, so about manufacture things, there's the rules. I think a lot of people knows there is always comes with a minimum quantity when you produce something with the manufacturers. They have the machines. They can't do like one by one pieces. It's a hard. Then but you don't want to keep too much inventory. That would be you. That's one of the biggest risk for retail or e-commerce too. That's but at the same time you want to control the quantity. So how I started was I started to just to order the product from the manufacturers. Then for beginning, then I can kind of understand better how this manufacturer the product, like how the market like, if they like this style, maybe I like some style, maybe the customer don't like. It happens all the time. The things you think you are fashionable, no, they people here, everyone is, there are the diversity word. That's the thing about the challenge about diversity, is there will be so many different preference too. So you have to take time to understand the market too. And also you also need to take time to understand the operation. So there is like a period of time kind of running all these
Yeah.
things a
So
lot,
yeah, like
right?
basically just diving into that because I would say what I find amazing of what you're doing. It's not just about what you're doing, but I truly believe that what you have is your passion. You use it strongly as your compass because if you did not have the passion of what you're doing right now, you would not know where to go.
Yeah.
And I again before you told me before this talk, but you were saying that how you feel even stronger now of where you know where you want to go with your business than when you first started out. Because when you first started out, you just thought, well, I just needed to do something. I needed to do something different. Um,
Yeah.
and now you are actually inside of this funnel where you found, oh, I want to serve these types of people, and you want to serve this type of mission, and you're able to actually capitalize on it, which I think is really important.
Yeah.
So, what would you say is the biggest game changers that you would your business thrived on doing, or what you changed in your business, or what you did in your life that actually was a big game changer?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Yeah. There is a lot of things will change your life. And I think my biggest change for me is two things. They're not money. One is my life attitude. Another one I would say is my vision. My life attitude has been changed a lot, and I believe this will change my whole life. Before I doing my business, I was so empty, so weak. I couldn't even imagine. I didn't realize it. I was I become after the journey of this business. I become so much more appreciate what I have, appreciate people's support, and sometimes we really we forgot to appreciate things, and we just take things granted, especially when you work for the company. uh, corporate, you have a team working with you, you represent your company, not yourself. So you have a big support behind of you. But when you do your own business, you are nobody, you are just alone by yourself, you do everything from scratch, and everyone supports you. You realize how important to have this all this support. I didn't feel that when I was working for the companies. I just feel like, because people come to me because they need to do business with my company, not me, not because of me. But when I do my own business, I realize how important is yourself. You have to, when people don't support me, I was started to review myself. It must be something I didn't do good enough. Then
Hmm.
that means I have to do better. That means I have to show better sincerity, and I should show better of my support too. And I just keep all the way, I just keep on reviewing myself, and think about all the people around me. And there is people can a lot of people, they're all like my teacher. It's not my teacher, but they're like my role models. The things I can see better, they are like advantage than complaining. I don't complain anymore. I used to complain a lot about everything you can't even solve, but now I don't have time to complain anything. And sometimes when I have a meeting with, I mean, hang out with friends who work for the corporate, they were talking about the politics at the company. I was like, oh, thanks God, I don't have this knife
Well,
anymore.
granted that one, you don't have to talk like that because the only person you'd be complaining about is yourself.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. I
so
will
that'd be,
complain.
I don't know, it could be either really exciting or really boring. It depends
Yeah,
how you view yourself. But
yeah, exactly. Like even if some people don't support me enough, that's I would think that's me. It must
yes.
be, yeah, it's me. And sometimes I get emotional, I get angry. You can't help, but then I will review. Okay, it's actually my attitude. I need to change. This is not what I should be. This is wrong. These people, they have right to not trust me, but I need to show my, I need to prove myself to gain their trust.
Hmm.
So always, I can always find a reason that I can be improved to let people trust me, than complain about how ridiculous other people. Right?
Right. So today
And
is one of the last days of June. It's, well, I still consider ourselves technically in the quarantine. A lot of
oh yeah, we
states are
are.
actually coming back of being safer in the quarantine. But it's right now, what would you say as what you've learned inside the quarantine? What have you learned from this from the past few months while being inside your house?
Yeah, I think everything comes with some positive and negative aspect.
Hmm.
I can see like the business impact is a lot for many people, and many of my partners, especially like my business is within mostly I would say it's with a dance community. I used to have all these events, and I also booked the different booths to different dance festivals, and with all this cancel, also some of the fashion shows. So I booked. I spent a lot of time and money on all those things, but everything paused or canceled. So for me, it was also a lot of lost, and also on the business side, it's been really slow. But at the same time, I don't want to waste any day in my life. I just take advantage of the time trying to learn things. Uh, to learn things I used to hate, like I mentioned just now about the counting. I try to do more counting work, and to manage how did I go past years, and how should I improve in the future, and also try to also learn the skills, like the technical skills, graphic skill, design skills, all these skills. There's a lot of skills I didn't have time to learn before. And also I think it um, also realize how much important to learn the sustainable of living. This is one of the project I'm working on too. It's gonna be challenging because it takes a lot of time, but it definitely something will be useful for the whole life. So it's gonna be one of the collection I will have. Just I would just take time to time. I would use all the fabric left from the clothing, and then make as something reusable, something fashionable and reusable, like let's say accessories, some smaller clothes, small items, anything I can create. And it's also the way I can keep practicing all these handcraft skills. I I have to say, quarantine definitely made us think deeper, learn more, and plan better.
That's great. So where can people find you online on social media or anything? Where can people find you?
My social media you can find from Ziji Style, ZIJI Style. And you can find me on the Instagram and the Facebook. You can also find my website www.zijistyle.com. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm happy to share anything I know, and if any of you who interest to know any of anything more, if I didn't cover, always happy to exchange thoughts, and I hope I can be helpful. Thank you, and I hope everyone take care and be healthy.